Hey SPN family, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jill.
And this is Roadhouse Idiots.
Today we're going to talk specifically about our experience at the convention Pittsburgh, PittsCon. It was our first Supernatural convention, and it was Pittsburgh's first Supernatural convention. It took place from July 7th through 10th. So let's get into it. So on Friday, the vendors room opened at 9:45. We got there around 9:20.
Yeah.
I was like, we're gonna be late. He's like, we're not gonna be late. I was like, we're gonna be late. And we were waiting outside, but we met some friends. I mean, we met Julie and Alexis, and we met Sarah and Kaylee. Those were the girls that we met first. We met other people throughout the weekend, but they were sort of waiting, and we all sort of waited together, and it's so much fun. So when we entered the theater on Friday, it looked a little something like this. We were on row Q, which was, I think, second or third row of Copper. Hosting for the weekend, we had the badass sheriffs.
Kim Rhodes and Brianna Buckmaster.
Yes, because normal Friday people, Rob and Rich, were actually away filming Kings of Con, ironically enough. It should be out soon, but another story for another day. We had Kim and Brianna, and even though they've done this a few times now for Rob and Rich with their hectic production schedule,
this is their first time doing it. So we got to be the guinea pigs for their first hosting experience, which was a lot of fun.
they did something really cool that the boys have never done. They wanted to talk to everyone about their wayward moment.
That's right, yeah. So what happened is halfway through the introduction or so, Kim Rhodes came out into the crowd and was pretty much standing 5 feet to our left.
Yeah, she just ended up running to where we were.
A group of people started forming a line, which is, I guess, a little unexpected, and basically they were spilling their biggest fears to...
And what they overcame, not just their fears. They were like spilling their achievements, things that they were afraid to do, and they did it anyway. That's your wayward moment.
Fear is contagious. Courage is more contagious. I was afraid to ask out my girlfriend, but I did, and we're going to be together for a year on the 25th.
So then Jason Mans, who was already a fill-in, the schedule was fill-in for the fill-in. And he has such a fun panel because he sings you songs and answers questions.
That's right.
And I could stand for that to be longer. I could watch so many of his panels. And then afterwards, when Jason Mans finished his panel, and he was also sort of the fill-in for Rob, so he sort of stayed to be the band as well.
That's right.
And we got to see, then Gil came on stage, Gil McKinley, Henry Winchester, and what was the biggest surprise about Gil?
Yeah, Gil McKinney can sing.
After that, it broke into the Supernatural Yes No Trivia game, which seemed like a lot of fun, but we couldn't do it because we were doing something that was even more fun.
Yep, we got to do our meet and greet with the aforementioned Kim Rhodes and Brianna Buckmaster.
Oh my gosh. So, we can't tell you guys too many details about the meet and greet. What we can say, very little of it, is it was so awesome because this was their first convention hosting, and we got to see them like an hour or a couple of hours after they opened. So we got such a real real reaction of how it was for them and hearing their experience. The other cool thing was they were supposed to, you're supposed to just do one group picture because of time.
Yep.
And Kim and Brianna were like, no, we're giving you each an individual photo. Yep. So here are the selfies that we took with them. And then we had their panel immediately after the meet and greet.
F-bomb filled panel.
F-bomb filled panel. And then they brought out who finally arrived, Gabriel Tigerman. Gabriel's panel was really funny. He was hysterical, and he took a really long time answering people's questions, which I appreciated. So much of the fact I went up to ask the question. And
I do remember this now.
It just, unfortunately, I was next in line. He was the last panel of the day. So then we had our photo op. We wanted to do, since Kim and Brianna were sheriffs and they were wearing the same shirt that I was.
Yep.
We arrested this one. So we were good about arresting, and I thought they made a good face. I thought it was funny. And that was not the end of day one, because we went down and immediately went to sign up forms, which I thought was
For
gonna
karaoke.
be...
Sign up for karaoke.
And we put in to do Thrift Shop by Macklemore.
Yeah.
Then we met our friends in line, and we also met up with Kate and Kara from
Our
row Q. And those ladies are awesome, and we sort of hung out while waiting.
So we didn't have like a front row standing spot. It was standing room only.
And Matt Cohen
That's right.
was so excited. He wanted to surprise people because he thought that maybe not everyone would know if he was going to show up since Rob
That's
and Rich
right,
were there.
yep.
But then he realized that he couldn't surprise anyone because of the walkway. Normally, most conventions I've heard, there's like a back room and a green room, so you don't see any of the stars between the acts. But the only way to enter the backstage area...
Oh, that's right. There's so right above the wall is a catwalk, an enclosed catwalk, and that's the only way to get from point A to point B, to get from the green room backstage to backstage. So there was really no surprise when, somebody was going to come on stage, because you watched them walk this probably a tenth of a mile
It was a long
catwalk.
walk. And so it was like the poor band, because they always have to come out when your panel's
That's
over.
right,
And we
yep.
always knew when a panel was about over, because we'd see them making the walk back and making
So
the
yeah,
walk
that's the
here.
5-minute warning.
But it became a joke throughout
Yeah.
the entire convention of SPN cast members trying to steal the thunder of the people on the stage. So
right.
they were doing like really funny stuff.
You're right,
So
you're
at
right.
one point, then walking down, he could see everyone. He was getting the crowd so wrapped up that he just like took his whole shirt off, as Matt Cohen does.
Yep.
And then just like plastered himself and his like whole chest just up against one of the plate glass windows.
Mm-hmm.
And then came down, and Brianna and Kim were hosting. Matt Cohen does a fabulous job at the karaoke.
Yeah, he's very good at getting a crowd into the moment. Much like, a good host should.
And then Gabriel stopped by, Jason Mann stopped by, Gil McKinley stopped by. So basically everyone from Friday was there at some point, which was a lot of fun.
Yep.
And then the other great thing, which is worth mentioning, is how much Brianna killed her song at the end of
Oh,
this
yeah,
night.
that Queen song. She was really, really good.
Mm-hmm. And so here's a little clip. Here, I'll give you a little taste of Brianna and how long she holds this note. Saturday. So we started the day off. Kim and Brianna host it. Again, they went over the rules again because you get new people every single day.
Yes, crowd was bigger on
First-timers.
Saturday than it was on
A
Friday.
little bit up in the ante.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Elena and Gil, which was a great duo panel.
Yeah.
Because they live pretty close to each other. So we heard a lot of really funny audition stories with like Elena's kids coming
That's
into
right.
the room like when they were rehearsing, and that was really fun. One of your favorites was after Elena and Gil.
Yeah, which I didn't know was going to be one of my favorites, was the lovely Scottish Ruth Connell in her Scottish glory.
So awesome. Because I was trying to be quick, and
And you were the
stopped
first.
me.
You were the first question.
I was the very first
That's right.
question.
I'm Jill. We're Rowena today. You have to see what your name is, where you're from, and what do you want.
She spent a lot of time answering my question. She was super funny. And then she gave me this little heart. She had me wait so she could give it to me. She thought it went with my outfit. So
this wristband.
And yes. So she gave me this heart because she thought it went with my outfit. So I wore this during my photo ops. And then one of the things I got for merch was this laptop case that I used for the work bag. So I just, now that the convention's over, I pinned it to the inside of my bag so I could keep it there. And then she also gave me My third wristband of the weekend, this is for Ruth's charity that she sponsors, and it's My Hope Chest, and which is an awesome charity who's allows any woman who wants to get surgery to have to get their breast back after they have gone through breast cancer. This helps provide it for women who wish to do so. So she gave every single person who asked a question one of these bracelets to help spread awareness because she was awesome.
Yep.
So we went on for the costume contest. Well, you watched because you weren't cosplaying this time. And so all of them come out and you get cheers and they bring the finalists back up. But it was really cool because they give you a photo of just like they hand them out randomly, but of one of the actors and stuff. So I got a Dean or a Jensen photo just for participating, and then they bring the finalists up. And there was a lot of fun, really good costumes and cosplays, but I was so happy that Bobby won because he was so good at cosplaying that several people thought he was Jim Beaver. He was so good. Like, throughout, they were like, Jim Beaver's here! And he wasn't. This guy was just that much of a Bobby. And I took a picture with him because I loved him. So this is him. Right? Doesn't he deserve to win?
He did. Turns out he owns an Impala, too.
I know! He was awesome. So then, after that, Mark Shepard did his. And Mark Shepard, like Ruth, so apparently it runs in the family, walks around.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yes.
And he's so sarcastic, like in a very, very funny way.
Yes.
Question is, if they did a weekend at Crowley's, what is the worst thing we would see him do?
Sitting in a traffic jam in Pittsburgh.
Then we had Bob, Rich, and Matt do a panel. Mm-hmm. And that was hysterically funny. It made me so much want to go back to a convention where they were hosting. I loved Kim and Brianna, but I want to experience both. Like, I think it's cool to experience both because they play off each other very well. They have very good charisma. Misha's panel's following. So, as we said,
yes,
all the guests, when they come down, you can see them walking down the hall. So in the middle of their panel, people start screaming. And then we're like, all right, when everyone's looking up to the side, because this is like where it's on this side, it's on everyone's left. And you can see Misha Collins coming down, still wearing his sunglasses in this like dark room, like a boss. And he's just walking down and he's getting all these cheers. Rob and Rich are teasing him about like, trying to like steal their thunder on stage. And once again, all the Supernatural cast, an unspoken rule to just be naughty on stage. So now, how many different windows do you think make up this plain glass hallway?
Somewhere probably between 40 and 50.
Okay, like 40
Easily.
and 50. Let's say 45. Let's just say about 45. I did not count, but like huge pane windows. Out of like the 45, Misha Collins being Misha Collins, like only he could do this. Decides like he's gonna lick one of the windows, like lick one of the glass like hell. And he just happens to choose the window where sweaty Matt Cohen like went shirtless and just like pressed his body up at karaoke the previous night.
Yep.
And Matt Cohen was on stage when he did this, and he's just like, from my nipple to Misha Collins' mouth.
Yep.
And it was just a typical Misha Collins panel. You never know what you're going to get with Misha Collins.
That's right.
So then afterwards, we had our photo op.
Oh.
With Ruth.
Before we even get to the photo op, you won the music video contest.
Oh, yeah! That was before. Yeah, so I got to cut this in. Yeah, so on Saturday, and I was really nervous. I was thinking about this the whole thing. Like, I have it highlighted on our schedule. You can see it. Like, they said that they were going to play a music video at 4:25 on Friday. And notice it's the only thing I have highlighted on this part of the schedule. And it was really awesome because some of the friends that I met, I had told them that I had entered. And they were really cool. They were like, yeah, we're going to go back in the theater early to see if it's yours. And they played the first music video. and it was somebody else's. And we watched that music video.
Yep.
And it was enjoyable and it was funny. Like they went for more of like a comedy type music video, and then they were like, we're gonna play another one, and then they called my name, and it was so cool because I love to show people my work. I freak out being in the room when people see my work. So I kind of didn't consider that I would have to do that if my name was called.
Oh, yeah,
Be in the room with 2,000 people while my work was playing. Well, in costume. But, so they called me up and people were so nice about it. And it was, honestly, if you were there, thank you so much, because I was freaking out and I'm really nervous to show my work. And you guys were so nice. And you got all the inside jokes, which is like, oh my gosh, that's the best part. That's why I love this family, is you got all the references and the double meanings, and some of you came up to me afterwards and told me nice things, and so thank you so much.
Now the photo op.
Okay, and then we had our Ruth photo op at the end of all the panels.
Which, like the first one, something bad happened to me. I died.
You died because I was cosplaying as Rowena, so I thought it would be fun if we each casted a spell.
Yeah.
But we go up to the photo op room, and Ruth remembered me.
Yes.
She was like, oh, there's my, like, first question. She was going to give me a hug, and I was trying to be really quick because I didn't want security to get mad at us, because I understand, not because they're being rude, but because they have to move you along quickly, and she's, like, being so sweet and personal, and she's, like, giving me a hug, and you have to explain what you want really fast. So I was like, thank you, Ruth. Can we kill him? She's like, yeah, let's kill him.
That's right.
So then we had this photo. Back to the convention.
Back to the convention for the Saturday night special. So Rob Benedict came out on stage just with his acoustic guitar, and he wasn't getting any acoustic guitar in his monitor mix. It was just, I don't even know if it was coming through the mains either, so it must have been either bad chord, bad DI, whatever the case might be. So pretty much just went completely unplugged, no PA, so no microphones, just the human voice and the acoustic guitar as raw as it can be, and it was really, really cool. He did fairly well.
Because everyone asked for it, and he's like, it's not working, but I'll do it. But you all have to
be very, very quiet.
And so, and everyone did, because this family was awesome. We all wanted to hear it. So you could hear a pin drop, and then you could just hear Rob. And that was my favorite part of the concert.
Yeah, I killed it.
I love that part. So that was the concert, and once again, we got back at what?
Again, probably 1 a.m.
Probably 1 a.m. Then Sunday.
Sunday, we had another photo op.
Yes. Now, we were holding the signs that I made getting ready to the con, because we had a really funny photo op planned. But I was nervous about this because I had read online that Mark Shepard is not a prop actor. He doesn't like to hold things. He doesn't like to wear things. So there's a good chance that he won't do it. And I didn't want to offend him, so I almost debated, like, not bringing it. But I was like, no. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kick myself if I don't at least try.
Right.
So we were like, you know what? I'm like, just accept the fact that he might not hold it and be okay with that. But ask him really quickly if he'll do it, because I really wanted this pose for our photo op. We both thought it was going to be so funny. But we were lucky because it was still, when we were at the edge of the line, it was still just Jensen, Jared, and Misha. Mark was already in the room, but he was just talking to someone else in the room. So I kind of made eye contact with him. And my first sign that he could see is the Hello Boys, which is a tribute to Crowley. So I was kind of flashing him like the Hello Boys sign and smiling at him. And he smiled back and was like, sort of gave one of his like Mark Shepard smirks. So I was like, all right, he at least likes the Hello Boys sign. That's good. And then we were the second people with the J2M2, so they're standing there, and then I've got the sign, and we're trying to move to be ready. And I was I noticed, like, for a half a second, I was like, oh man, Mark Shepard's, like, standing all the way to the right. And I was like, oh, that's going to be the wrong order for the signs. But, like, oh well, it's fine. It's going to be awesome no matter what happens. And so I go up, and I was like, hi, Mark, if it's okay, I made a sign for you. And he starts to say, he turns, like, he's in the middle starting to say, I don't hold signs. And he's like, Mark Shepard, I don't hold signs. And halfway through of like, I don't hold, and he turns his head and he reads it, and he's like, I'll hold that sign. Yep. So he took the poster. Sorry for the bad impression, Mark. So he took the poster and he understood the joke. So he immediately went to the other side of the group to make the joke work. And it was so awesome. And then Zach just went down to the end to be where he was supposed to be. And I didn't really say anything to Jensen, Jared, or Misha because I was so excited. First of all, you don't have a lot of time. But second of all, I was just so excited that Mark was willing to hold my sign. That's all I could focus on. So I was so happy that Mark was holding my sign. I was going to get my picture. And Chris, the photographer, needed us to move down because we had like a row. We had a lot of people. We had 6 people in our photo. So he's like getting us to scooch, but we were all already posed. And he's like, can you scooch down? I'm like, oh, can I be surrounded by Misha and Jared and Jensen longer? Sure. And I prepared, I wanted to do a smirk because I don't like my smiles. But I have this horrible face on my photo op. Like, I hate my face because I was going to do a smirk. And Misha just was so focused on trying to make me laugh. So
unbeknownst to me.
Yeah, because you're standing to the side. You're not that far away, but you're standing to the side. And the way that it is where Misha was on my right, as you can see in the photo op.
Right.
So he was, and Jarrett was on top, like around, scooching in, and Jensen's just making like his Jensen smirk.
Yeah.
And so Misha was so determined to like make me laugh. So he's just on the side, this close to my face, and he's like, hey girl, how you doing? Do you feel good today? You look good today. Do I look good today? Love ya. Into my ear. How do you not laugh when that's happening? So he's doing that, and like, just like you can feel his breath, like I'm like just on my face. And then afterwards, we just took the photo, and the photo is really funny. So here it is. So I love the photo. I hate my face, but I love the photo. It's a terrible face. But the photo is awesome, and it was really special that Mark held my sign. I don't think I'm ever going to make anything for Mark to hold again because I'm batting 1,000. Right. So I'm like going to walk away happy with that. But it was so funny because out of all of them, probably the one person that would make me starstruck would realistically be Jensen Ackles. And so I didn't even make eye contact with him.
Nope.
Probably out of like, just like, nope. Not even gonna look at you because I'd probably freak out if I did.
Completely did not acknowledge their presence at all.
No, not Jensen or Jarrett's.
Nope.
But they were fun, and you could feel Jarrett's energy. So what I'm gonna say is that was my biggest takeaway from both his panel and the photo op. The moment you walk into a room, and for some reason, I'm not an aura person. I'm not like, you have this vibe. That's not who I am. The moment that I was in the same room as Jarrett Padalecki, I felt this very positive energy that was definitely coming from Jarrett Padalecki. Could you feel that, or am I just crazy here?
No, I don't think you're crazy.
You can feel he just has this like awesome energy to him that's like fun to be around.
Right.
That was cool. And then it was time for Jensen and Jared.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do something different because they knew
they
from
did
their
not want to walk
panel,
that catwalk.
They didn't want their grand opening to everyone to be having to walk down this catwalk. So instead, they, in the middle, and nobody knew that they were going to do this. They told nobody that they were going to do this, probably so they could do this. So when Rob Benedict was singing his Journey Any Way You Want It, Jared and Jensen decided rather than going through the catwalk that they were actually going to go through the vendor's room and then come in through the same doors that everyone else goes through. And it was great because the people who saw them first were the people in the standing room only. So the people in the back actually got the first look at Jared and Jensen. And it was a weird vibe because you heard screaming from the back.
Yeah.
And it was coming forward. So then everyone's like, what's going on?
And then...
And the two of them were just full on sprinting because everything for them is a competition. We're like racing each other. And then Jarrett, in like one easy hop, just jumps on the stage.
Yep. Yeah. Well, when you're a big dude like that, you can.
You can. And then we had the Jensen and Jarrett panel.
J2 panel.
Which was very fun. I enjoyed it immensely. I think my biggest takeaway from that was how ridiculously in sync the two of them are with each other.
Yeah, my favorite moment was the whole, drinking out of the microphone, dropping the water bottle bit.
Yeah. He wanted to take a sip of his water, but he accidentally started to take a sip of, not actually, but he acted like he was going to take a sip out of his microphone. And then Jensen caught wind of this, so then he started, like, making fun of him and then doing the same thing. And then Jarrett did, like, a mic drop, because Jarrett abuses his microphones. And then it got added, dropping the mic, and then drinking from the water, and they just kept adding to the bit.
And then dropping the water bottle. And
and then dropping the water bottle and drinking the microphone as a mic drop, except it was a water bottle drop. And then we gave our hugs. We didn't have any autographs.
No.
And this was part of our road trip, and we still had like a 4-hour drive that night.
Yes.
So we ended up saying our goodbyes. We took a couple last pictures with some of our new friends. Mm-hmm. And then we just sort of hit the road, and that was over as quick as it started.
Oh, yeah. So that was our experience. I enjoyed it very, very much. I know you had an absolute blast.
So much fun.
We're trying to figure out which one we can go to next, what fits with our schedule. So.
Yeah, so with my job, it's more about the time of year than the location. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of hoping, and that's what made Pittsburgh perfect, because Jersey's the closest one to us.
Right.
Unfortunately, Jersey hasn't worked well with my job schedule. And the one year that it did work out well was on our wedding day. We were getting married that day, so I guess that had to take priority. But... Maybe if Jersey ever does July, that would be so awesome.
Yeah, so fingers crossed that happens.
Maybe we'll meet some of you Jersey fellas. And Pittsburgh, we were going to do it again next year. Like, I love traveling to Pittsburgh, but they moved it to September.
Yep.
So we won't be there next year. So we will miss all of you guys if you go there again. But hopefully we will see you at some point.
At some point. All right,
so
that was our experience. We hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about it as much as we enjoyed being a part of it there, and hopefully we get back to a convention soon.
Yes, guys. Tune in next Friday because we're going to review the Season 11 DVD. That's coming up next week. See you next time on Roadhouse Idiots.
Bye-bye.